If you're watching this video, either you have been redirected from one of the videos of this series, that 50 most essential grammatical errors for the XAT, to explain to you what is the process by which we came up with this list. Or you might be watching this just by chance. In case you're just watching it by chance, you can continue watching to understand the process, or maybe if you directly want to move on to learning about the grammatical errors, you can click on the cue card on the top here. It will take you directly to the first video of the series. Okay. With that being said, let me start explaining to you the process by which we came up with this list. We started by looking into all the grammar questions that have been asked in the previous 14 years of XAT papers. Okay, and from these grammar questions, we distilled out all the sentences, right? So in a grammar question, the student is essentially required to assess a set of multiple sentences for grammatical errors or the lack of the same, right? So with that, so we distilled out all the sentences which a person would be required to assess for errors or the lack of them, and from these errors, from these sentences, we distilled out again the various types of grammatical errors that have been tested in all of these sentences, right? So this is kind of the union of all of these, of the errors that were tested here. Please understand that this would not be a one-to-one list, because some of these sentences might have more than one grammatical error, and some might not have any grammatical error at all. Okay, so all right, so we came up with we distilled out the most grammatical errors list, and then obviously now that is not going to keep asking you the same. You gonna keep testing the same grammatical error over and over again, right? So obviously we added to this list the other error types of grammatical errors which we believed would be relevant depending on basis certain parameters to what the XAT has already asked, right? For example, if error type 1 was from the topic of subject verb agreement, we added other important subject verb agreement errors to this list. Okay, so that's how we came up, and then this final list is basically what gives you the 50 most essential grammatical errors for the XAT. Okay, now guys, please understand that this list has been created under the constraints of practicality and pragmatism, and it is supposed to be, it is not necessarily exhaustive in nature. Okay, and it's basically supposed to be a sort of least you could, quote unquote, least you could do for grammar preparation solution for XAT aspirants in the last few days of their before their exam. Okay, so I hope that explanation is clear. You can now move on to watching the next videos in the series. Goodbye.